Our top story this hour, a blast took place in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul, earlier today. In one of the city's main commercial areas, prolonged gunfire was also heard subsequently. No official statement has been released yet on the number of people who might have been killed or injured in this attack. No group has claimed responsibility for the blast either so far. Here are some visuals that have come in from the location of the blast. Residents in the area say gunshots continued even after the blast. Reports say the attack took place near a hotel that's popular with Chinese nationals. Taliban officials have not commented on this incident yet. Neither has the Chinese embassy in Kabul issued any statement. Several attacks have taken place in Afghanistan in recent months. The Islamic State, Khorasan province, has claimed responsibility for some of the earlier attacks. Tensions are on the rise once again at the Afghan-Pakistan border. At least 6 civilians and an Afghan soldier were killed and nearly 20 injured after clashes erupted between the Pakistani military and the Taliban army at Spin Buldak. The violence erupted on Sunday, and Afghan media reports say there were casualties after a mortar landed near the Spin Buldak gate.
د بارډر سره आवाज ټکاو شان شروع سم د بارډر په میدان आवाज د ترال ګدامول د ازربایجان سی ولاړو یا یو عوام نه وګرځي هغه شت په داخلي کې و مشي ډیر غټه لنبه فورس بیا مو پر د کوزا ولاړ د پاکستان په مخ ده دنیا سره ولاړ نقطه ازربایجان ولاړ د لګړیان ولاړ د ګاډیان ولاړ برابر عوام نه بل عوام سره غټه لنبه وکاوه ور سره و بیا ز بیا راس بیا ز په ځان نه پوسو.
Pakistan, however, claims the attack was intentional. A military official said more than a dozen civilians were wounded in this unprovoked and indiscriminate fire by the Afghans. That's the statement issued by the Pakistani side. They say their troops gave a befitting response following the attack, but avoided targeting innocent civilians. Refuting Pakistan's claims, a Taliban official in Kandahar said the incident was accidental and the situation returned to normal after the two sides held a meeting. Clashes between the Taliban army and the Pakistan military have been a recurring incident at the Spin Buldak border, situated near the Chaman province in Baluchistan. The border crossing is referred to as the Friendship Gate, while both sides have ironically tabled complaints of encroachment or violence against one another. For more on this story, we're now joined by Raja Faisal from Islamabad. He is a journalist. Raja Faisal, thanks for speaking to WION. Now, this isn't the first time that an incident of this nature has taken place. Clashes between the Taliban army and the Pakistan military at the strategically significant Spin Buldak crossing. If you could first and foremost put this into perspective for our viewers, why is this border so significant and why are these clashes repeatedly taking place?
Obviously, you're very right about it. Since the regime change, since Taliban took the office in Kabul, we have been seeing that these kind of skirmishes, they were taking place on the borders. The reason behind it is that we should not be forgetting that the Taliban have elements within themselves. If we talk to Taliban sitting in Kabul, they are entirely different Taliban. But if we look at Taliban who are on the borders, they are entirely different. The tier 1 leadership does know whatever is going on the ground level when it comes to Taliban themselves. But of course, there are problems which they need to look into. There are different outfits within Taliban that are associated with not only TTP, but they have very good relations with ISIS Khorasan as well, as you have earlier mentioned about them. But Spin Boldak and Chaman border, it is significant border, and these kind of skirmishes, they started taking place since Pakistan, started fencing the border. And of course, Pakistan's army has successfully fenced the border, and that is a huge problem for Taliban, because Taliban believe that this border should not be fenced, because daily people are maneuvering around. But to control the element of terrorism, to control the borders, of course, Pakistan took the initiative, which was appreciated by not only the regional countries, but of course the international powers as well. It was a very good step forward by Pakistan. But of course, if we look at the current bilateral trade between both of the countries, of course, Pakistan is having one of the biggest trade with Afghanistan. If we talk about wheat, if we talk about rice, all of these trades, they are going through Pakistan. Pakistan's trade for Afghanistan is the most important trade. And to me, I believe Taliban sitting in Kabul, they know about it. They know that there are elements within them that are rogue, and they do not want to see Pakistan and Afghanistan having a normal relation. That is why we are seeing these kind of problems taking place.
Okay, it's interesting you refer to those rogue elements within the Taliban. But, you know, Raja Faisal, there are some who believe that Pakistan was instrumental in the return of the Taliban to power in Afghanistan last year, something that Pakistan may not agree to. But the question really is, when we see these kind of skirmishes take place on a regular basis, does this indicate a deterioration of ties between Pakistan and Afghanistan under the new Taliban regime, and also the fact that so many terror attacks have taken place in that country in recent months? There was a blast in Kabul just today. Does that also tell us that the Taliban are not quite in control?
Well, this is what we can say right now. Of course, they have too much to look after. If talking about, as you have, blamed Pakistan for being behind Taliban when they took over last year, I disagree, because it would be, unacceptable to me as a Pakistani that my government or my state would be helping Taliban to take over against all of the countries of the world. Of course, there were 20 plus mighty powers of the world who were sending their armies in Afghanistan, and against them, we were the ones who were helping Taliban. This doesn't make sense at all. I think Taliban was a reality. They had ground support from the people of Afghanistan. That's why they took power back in Afghanistan, and they fought for 20 odd years, and that's how they came back. But if we, look into Taliban's problems, which they are facing right now, since the day one, ISIS Khorasan, see, there are two provinces, Kunnad and Nangarhar. Kunnad and Nangarhar, they have been known for safe havens for ISIS Khorasan and TTP and BLA, BLF, and if we talk about ETIM, IMU, all of these outfits, they have been, being catered in there. And Taliban regime is facing problems from ISIS Khorasan. Recently, we saw there were bomb blasts in the cities. There were bomb blasts on the diplomats, including one of the Pakistan's diplomat earlier this month. That attack is being, of course, accepted by the ISIS Khorasan as well. Of course, Taliban regime needs to understand that ISIS Khorasan is not only creating problems for them in Afghanistan, but they are trying to create hurdles and hindrances for Taliban to have good relations with its neighbors as well. Because ISIS Khorasan verily knows that when Doha Accord took place, of course, Taliban committed to it that they will never allow their land to be used against any of the neighboring countries for the purpose of terrorism. So Taliban needs to be extra cautious about ISIS Khorasan, not only them, but the TTP as well.
Well, many would say so far they haven't really walked the talk. But Raja Faisal, pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for speaking to WION.
Thank you very much.